All right, we are live. Actually, I think we were live for a little bit. I have decided to go bald this evening, and that's okay. I'm gonna be secure in my no hatness tonight. Ryan's taking it up though, taking up the charge. Thanks, Ryan.
I'll wear the hat.
We are gonna talk about our whys this evening, and you'll understand why and what I mean here in a little bit. Thanks for joining us. We are System.Debug. Do you guys ever see like Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, like the second one, when they all go to like the heavenish place or whatever, and they're like that's like the big like thing.
Yeah, don't they end up playing like Battleship with the Devil or something?
Grim Reaper.
Yeah, they played like maybe chess,
like a whole bunch of board games.
I think it was like a bunch, like best 2 out of 3. Yeah, that kind of crap. To be honest, I hated the second one, and I've got some friends that just beat the crap out of me all the time for admitting that. I like the first one, but the second one just...
they're coming out with another one.
Yeah, I've heard.
What?
Yeah, seriously, they're going to have a third one.
We'll have to check that out.
Yeah, we'll have to ask them why.
Why?
Sounds like a million.
Yeah.
It's just one of those that, I don't know. Hollywood keeps like reintroducing all the movies that I liked as a kid. I'm waiting for like a Back to the Future remake. It's just, that would just do it. And then they'll probably start over with Indiana Jones. Of course, if they do, I hope they use Chris Pratt. But we're beside the point.
Or a 3D animated Land Before Time.
Supposedly they're never going to do another Back to the Future. It's just completely out of the question. Out of the question? Yeah, out of the question.
Really?
Yeah, supposedly. I don't. That's just what I've heard on the internet's fireside chat.
Cool.
Around the campfire.
I'll dig that.
So, I've got a question for you guys, and I brought this up in our kind of like little team chat. And you guys totally shot down my first idea. But my second idea, when I brought this up, you guys were like, wow, that's amazing. Thank you for being amazing, except for only half the time. And I said, thank you guys for acknowledging at least my 50% amazingness. So I've been thinking about this a lot lately too. And the question is like, why do you want to be a developer? Why do you become a developer? And when you're in the role, like, why do you continue to pursue development as a thing? And it doesn't just work for development, right? It works for anything. Are you an admin? Okay, why are you an admin? Why do you want to continue to be an admin? And why did you want to become an admin to begin with? And it's a really hard question to answer. And I think that it's a good question to just kind of mull over as just a human in general, right? So you just kind of think about it, kind of feel through it. Why do I do the things I do? And if the answer is money, that's not really a good answer. And if the answer is security or lifestyle, those are still kind of in that same vein. Like, why? What is your intended outcome? So my question to you guys tonight, and I'll go last because I already got my why. Why do you guys do what you do? And I guess let's start with Megan, because you're like smiling over there. I feel like you're ready to jump in.
Wow. I appreciate the pressure on making me go first. But yeah, when it comes to why, I mean, it's a hard question, but at the same time, I guess it's kind of an easy question. I love it. For me, it was, I guess it was love at first login. I love the platform. I love Salesforce. And for me, it's all about the architecture. I mean, it's about bringing together that whole side of the development. It's about bringing together the admins, bringing together a project, and making sure that everything is working, everything is the best possible solution, everything is a sustainable build, and having that opportunity to be working with something that is continuously growing, continuously adding new functionality, always developing, always adding new things, and giving me that opportunity to keep learning and keep growing myself. The fact that Salesforce is something that is, at a point where it is still continuing up and still growing, yeah, it's great that there's money in it, and it's great that it's still on that climb. That's awesome. That means that my career is not going to come to like a crashing halt anytime soon. But it's the fact that I actually love what I do that makes it awesome. The majority of the time, I don't feel like I'm working. When I'm actually in there and I'm in Salesforce and I'm getting to do, I'm getting to build a community. I'm getting to work on a component. I'm getting to come up with a solution for something, and I'm challenging myself every single day, and I'm not bored. I am so happy, and I don't feel like I'm working. That's exactly why I do what I do. And having the opportunity to work with, Salesforce, a company that believes so much in the community, and being able to have this awesome environment where I got to meet all of you guys. Like, I don't know any other type of, software company out there that is so big on helping, its users meet its other users and have them build relationships. And to be working in an environment where I have that opportunity is so cool and so awesome. Where they're pushing me as a user, as a customer, and a partner to keep growing myself is just fantastic. I absolutely love it. And I don't think that I could try to, at this point in time, find anything else that I would love doing as much as I do every day. So yeah, that's why I do it. It makes me happy. It's challenging. It's fun. And it doesn't feel like working.
Nice, dude. That's a pretty solid answer. And I like that you had that that community focus, right? Because there is like that's almost more than the platform itself, and maybe almost equal to the platform itself, right? So Salesforce is known for its platform and its community, and it's like I couldn't tell you. It feels like it's neck and neck to me because the community is really, really heavy into Salesforce, right? Like they're heavy into Salesforce, and Salesforce, the platform, is heavy into them and supportive of them. So yeah, I mean, if you're looking for community, you're in the right place, and you know that. I think we all know that. So next up, I'm going to say Mr. Headley, if you would. I'm going to save Brian for last because I know his word bag is full. So let's go with you first.
His word bag is full. I think mine is probably empty.
I don't think yours is empty, but yeah.
I feel like I have to give you my entire history to get there, to get to my why. But at the summarization level, I think it's because I enjoy solving problems and I get to solve problems. But you add to the top of that, I feel like I'm also empathetic. I'm an empath. I understand. I'd like to think I understand other people's issues when they talk about it, that I can relate to them, and it makes it, for me, the opportunity just to help somebody to solve their problems. I'm very much a fixer. I was having a conversation with somebody today who just wanted an ear to listen, and so I was listening, and they were venting, and here I am, and I literally have to turn off that part of my brain that wants to solve and fix. I have to turn it off because sometimes people just want to listen. So for me, it gives me the opportunity to solve people's problems. I enjoy helping people. I want to be that person that they can come to. And so technology is something that allows me to do that in perhaps ways that I wouldn't be able to do it in other ways, right? The thing that I think, and I want to echo Megan's point here, that's kind of the why. And I can do that anywhere. I could do that in Python, Java, PHP, whatever. I could do that anywhere. What keeps me here and makes me do it for the folks here is the community. There is no community like it anywhere. And I'm very passionate about giving back to that community. Salesforce.org gives me the chance to give back to that community in a way that I never thought really possible. When I was a consultant at .com, I was very much just helping companies reach their bottom line. And now I feel like I actually have the chance to make an impact, which is cool. And if I can make an impact and give it back to the community, then I'm all on board. So that's my why right now, is because of people listening in here, people interacting with us, people that ask me questions, and people that view your 6-minute videos, all of that stuff, right? That's my why. The people's.
So I think you touched on a really good point there. Your why should not be tied specifically, and this is a good thing for other people to think about too. When you're thinking about your why, it shouldn't be specifically tied to a place or even so much as a position. It should kind of be this larger than a position sort of thing. Like, just like Ryan said, he can do this anywhere. He can do this in Python. He can do this in Node or in JavaScript, like vanilla JavaScript, or as a web dev somewhere, or kind of anywhere, right? But there's another element there that keeps him around, and that's another good thing. That's what makes a good company a good company, or a good company actually a great company, right? That's what keeps people around, the culture, the way that they interact with their community, things like that, the way they give back, right? That whole what is it, the 111?
Yeah,
program?
the 111 model.
Yeah, right. So that's the other side of the story, right? So when you think about your why as a person, think about it not in reference to a specific job or a specific position or a specific company. They can be part of why you stay around, but why do you do the thing you do, right? So now we're gonna let Brian talk about his why, and let's see what he's got to say.
I'll give you a word bag. Okay, so like first off, is this like specifically about Salesforce or just why we're developers or why we are admins or?
Yeah. So why do you? The real question is, why do you do the things you do, and not in a mean way, like you might say it to someone. Like, why are you the way you are? No. Why would you? Why do you want to be the person that you are today, and what's going to make you be the person that you are tomorrow? What's going to get you there? What's your driving force, really? Like, what propels you forward? And like I said, it could, the platforms and the tools that you use could help you get there, right? So don't discount that at all by any means, but your why should be focused, and come from you.
All right, so well, okay, so like first off, and this is something I was actually talking to Tom, our brand ambassador, the other day about, was even though like one thing that drove me into being a developer at all, period, was because of the fact that I had been into computers literally my entire life. Okay, so well, maybe not literally, but since third grade, I can remember specifically in third grade getting a computer and being super into it. And I remember not wanting to be into computers as a job or per my employment because I was so afraid that I loved them so much that if I did it for work, I was going to end up hating what I was doing. Right. That it was going to be work and I wasn't going to want to do it anymore. But after I got out of the Army, I wanted, I kind of got pushed into going to college, and this wasn't until I was 28. You know what I mean? I didn't actually get a degree into programming until 5 years ago, right? So even though I'd been into computers and that kind of stuff, and I thought I could program, I really didn't understand programming fully. So, and I wanted to say that, and I wanted to iterate that only because of the fact for a lot of people who feel that, you know, I didn't start when I was younger. It's too late in the game for me to be able to get into the industry and that kind of stuff. I've been only doing this for 5 years, right? And I just wanted to make sure that we note that it's not that it takes a lot of time to spin this up. And I do it because I felt like I knew it and I might like it. And it turned out I had been completely wrong that doing it as a career was going to make me hate it. In fact, it almost doubled down on how much I love working with computers and programming because I'm not doing it solo now. Now I get to talk about this every single day. To your point and to Mark's point in chat here is that it's really neat when you can talk to people online and fully understand what they're saying to you and you're saying to them, and having these long conversations that, you know, prior to this you might never have had. But it's that much more interesting and fun to do it. As for Salesforce, I think like the vast majority of people who get into the platform, I didn't decide to get onto the platform. Someone decided it for me. I got a job out of college, and that company decided, listen, we use Salesforce. You program in Java and web development, so we're going to make you do this. And you kind of get in there, and at first you go, I don't understand this whatsoever. Okay, I understand it's sort of like Java, but for the vast majority of it, it was sort of tricky, especially on the admin side. But after, you know, a couple of months, I really started getting into it. And then a year or two into it, you know, Trailhead came out, and the MVP program started getting bigger and bigger, and those, and I say that because those people were the ones who were really kind of driving the community involvement, which really made you feel welcomed, right? And the more people you met on Twitter and Facebook and other social media, when you'd go to these events, it was insane because you were meeting friends that you felt like you'd known forever for the first time. And so I think all those things make me want to continue going forward with my career choice, with Salesforce, being involved, like all of that. That's kind of my why, I guess.
And that's a good why too. So this is another good thing to touch on, right? Is that everyone's why can be different. You can have a similar why. And I just want to shout out Will Clark, who's a dude that I work with. He's a great dude. He's the one who got me thinking about my why, and that's why I brought it up to you guys in the chat, and you guys all seem to like it. So it's not even really my idea; it was Will's idea, and he got it from a book. So it's a big, long chain of events. But he's a great guy, and he's got a lot of good stuff in his brain. He's a great guy to talk to. So if you guys ever come out to lunch with us one day, I think you'll have a good bit of fun. But anyway, everyone's whys can be different, right? And the thing about the why is that it helps you understand who you are and why you're traveling the path you're traveling, right? And it helps you understand that it doesn't matter where you are or what specifically you're doing. You can use your why to kind of like empower you and to take you to doing what you want to be doing, period. So I'm going to give you guys my why, and I've spent a lot of time thinking about this over the past like week or two. And first off, I always wanted to teach code, right? I had a weird passion for coding. I know that sounds weird, but I really, really enjoyed it. Even as a kid, I don't know why. It was just some weird thing where you get to control machines, and that's a cool and fun thing, right? Like, ooh, it's like the closest thing to magic that you can get in reality. And so I was like, oh, this is really cool, right? So I had a passion for it, and as I grew up, I kind of like let it go and it disappeared. And then boom, here I am again, and I come back to it, and I'm like, ooh, this is fun. I like it. And then I got out of it again, and I did a physics degree for my undergrad. But still, the thought there was, ooh, I can teach this to somebody. I can take what I'm learning and teach this to somebody. And I guess I should have mentioned right before I started going to college, I was teaching people in the projects in Staten Island, New York, how to code and how to kind of take their community from where it is up a level and kind of helping their whole community by doing those kinds of things, right? So, oh, hey, I want to build a server so that we can have all of our stuff in one spot, and we can make like a giant grocery list, and everyone can chip in, and everyone can order from this big grocery list. Now we get bulk discounts, and everyone can actually get more food and all kinds of things like that, right? So I did that throughout high school, and then after, yada yada, kept teaching. And everything I did, there was always an element of teaching, physics, teaching, master's degree, teaching. Every step of the way, I was always teaching and teaching and teaching. So I realized I just want to make humans better in any way that I can. I just want to like give them everything that I have and be like, look, I went through a lot of annoying headaches and trauma and pain. I guess trauma is a little exaggerated. I didn't really go through any trauma specifically, but I went through a lot of crap to like get here, and a lot of sleepless nights where I'm thinking about stupid problems. And now I can just pass this on to you pain free. Like, here's the knowledge. It's not only is it free, but it's pain free, and I'll just give it to you. Like, here you go. And so that's my why. I want to be able to give people better lives and better everything through education and knowledge transfer. So now here I am at Slalom, right? Years and years and years later, and I'm over here, and they're like, hey, why don't you go to this client, blah, blah, blah. okay, cool. Hey, the client's like, hey, why don't you like kind of help us figure out where everyone is? We're going to have some juniors, we're going to have some seniors, like help us kind of build these people up. Oh, okay, that's even cooler. And this still aligns with what I'm doing, right? So again, it's all about aligning with your why, and you figure out, oh man, I don't need to be a programmer. I don't need to be a developer. I don't need to be a web dev. I don't need to be an admin. I don't need to be one specific thing. I can teach anybody anything that I know, period. And that's why I love doing the 6 minute Salesforce, because I know we're trying to bootstrap people. And I know that this specific show, um, we get a little bit deeper into the heavier stuff, and we're not always on the lighter side of things. But hey, that's the kind of show that we have. So that's my why, right? The question now is, does everyone else have a why, right? And how do you find your why? And so what are you guys thinking about this whole thing? Like, how do you guys feel about it? And how did you guys find your whys?
Yeah, I would be super interested to read people's whys. So I just in the chat here, I suggested, hey, if you're listening, doesn't have to be tonight because right now it's live. But if you listen to the recording of this 2 weeks from now, whatever, tweet at the system.debug account with hashtag my why and tell us why. And to RJ's point, even if you're not a developer, if you're an admin, if you're not an admin, if you're a project manager, if you're whatever, we don't care. Tell us about your why. Let us know.
And tag a friend.
Oh, yes. And tag a friend. Make them do it as well. Thank you. I said maybe, and then Megan's like, no, totally do that. Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Tag a friend. I just think it'd be really interesting to see all the different reasons people do what they do. Everybody's got a different one. I do have, hunch that there's going to be a lot of overlap, helping people's big, particularly in this community, right? But yeah, I would love to read, hear, whatever, some of these other folks' why. So if you're in the chat, hey man, do that. Let's have a discussion. I'd like to see some of this.
And
So
I would
on
say,
this-
oh, sorry.
No,
Go ahead,
please.
Brian.
Go for it.
Okay, I was just going to say, to add to what Ryan's saying, just if you need help trying to figure out your why, also hit us up. That's totally a valid place to be at in your life. Is I'm just trying to figure out, and again, this doesn't matter what your age is, what your occupation is, where you work at. Just reach out to us. We're always willing to help.
Yep. What were you going to say, Brian?
So we got a couple of minutes, and while we're on the topic of whys, and we all discussed our, why we became a developer or an admin or got onto the platform, and our career paths. I wanted to sort of talk about why we do this show. It's, for the most part, it's obvious, right? We want to be able to help people. We want to inspire people. We want to talk to people. But crazy enough, almost 2 years ago now, I had just reached out to Ryan and said, I think it'd be really, really neat if we could figure out a way to help people, right? And almost like the next day, RJ had walked into my office and said, hey, do you want to figure out a way to help people? And I was like, wait, what? I'm literally about to do that. Do you want to do it with us, I guess, And at this point, RJ and Ryan, they had no idea who each other were, right? Like, they just had to trust me, which was really hard for both of them, I'm sure. Like, oh, I barely trust you as it is. How am I going to know this guy? So, we'd all got together. It took us a while to spin it up. It took us a while to kind of figure out what, how we wanted to do it, the format, everything like that. And we decided that we wanted to do live streams. And some of us were already friends with Megan, and Megan kind of got strung along because she was always in the chat. We were really, really excited. And at one point, we thought we were going to actually lose one of our hosts. And so we had pegged Megan as the next host of System.Debug. And when that host didn't go anywhere, we said, well, come on anyway. Let's just do this. It'll be a lot of fun. And that's kind of how Megan got involved. But one of the reasons that we decided we wanted to do a live stream podcast was for exactly the reason that I see every episode when we're watching the chat. It's a chance for us to communicate with other people and to have another outlet for them to communicate with each other live, right? To ask questions, to get interactive. It was something that we hadn't seen too much, and we really, really wanted to be a part of it. And we wanted to, like I said previously, inspire and help people. And that's kind of why we do System.Debug. Did I miss anything, or did I just say it all wrong?
No, I think you nailed it. We want to be able to help and give back to that community. There's a part of me too that decides, if we ever get to the point where for one reason or another there is some sort of income coming in, I would fully expect us to do a 1-1-1 model. That's not why we do this, but if there was ever a side effect, absolutely. It's that giving back. And before this community, if you'd asked me about giving back to the community, I certainly would have, because I enjoy helping people, but nothing has made me so excited to do so like this community. And that's right. I want to pour all of my focus and everything I could do into giving back to this community, into supporting the various charities that other people in the community are passionate about. I forget where I'm going with that completely now, but I think you hit it on the head. With the thing, what we do last year with the world hunger and stuff like that, I would like to do more of those kinds of things. Oh yes, you're wearing the t-shirt.
Oh.
So yeah, I think we are in a position where we can help people in the community raise their voice, and I think we can help with all that kind of stuff, and I would love to do more of that. So.
To kind of add to that, a big part of it for me is the fact that, the community has given me so much. Every time I need help, I know that there's someone out there in the community that is going to be available to help me, be it on Slack, be it on Twitter, be it in the Trailblazer community, be it, via text message with somebody that I met at an event. I know 24 hours a day, there is somebody that I can reach out to, and either they're going to know the answer, or they're going to at least help me know where to look, or they're going to, sit there and struggle with me, at least for a little bit. And, being able to give back to those people that have helped me in the past and that I know that are going to help me in the future, it's awesome to know that I can at least do a little something for them, for all the times that they've helped me and that they're going to be helping me. Because everyone in the Ohana is awesome. They're so supportive and they're such great people.
Boom. I don't think you can put it much better than that.
No, not at all. Actually, the other day, and this is just a funny little anecdote, right? The other day, one of mine and Brian's old coworkers reached out to me. He's like, "Hey, man, just trying to get a job in the Salesforce community, blah, blah, blah," talking about how he wants to do, more admin stuff, more dev stuff, like really get into it. He's a veteran, et cetera, et cetera. I said, "All right, man. Well, I know that there's a lot of different things that you can get into," but I said, "Look, I know this girl, Megan, is on her grind 24/7. She does nothing but work and give back to the community." I said, "Look, if you can get like 5 minutes of her time, it will be worth hours and days of your like suffering around trying to mess with a resume." So I just like sent him Megan's way. And Megan was like, I said to Megan, I was like, "Hey, sorry, I just kind of like sent this guy your way." And she's like, "Dude, what? Don't be sorry." She's like, "Yes, that's exactly what I want. Like, send them over, send them my way. I will help these people." And I was just like, done and done.
Done and done.
I just feel so bad. Sorry, I feel so bad because somebody today had said, "Oh, I'm struggling with trying to figure out communities, so I might be busy for a while." And I said, "Oh, you know what? I know somebody who knows communities better than anybody. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna get you in touch with Megan." So, sorry, Megan.
Megan's like the keystone. We just like push all of our hard questions are like, Megan knows the answer to that. Megan knows how to do that. Just send it over to Megan.
I'm just going to put a filter on my email, and if it contains Salesforce, it's going to Megan's email address. I'm just going to forward it right to her.
If it's communities, if it says DX, I usually forward those to you.
To me?
Yeah, to you, Ryan. I'm like, Salesforce DX. Ryan, can I see everybody's scratch orgs or just mine?
Yeah, dude. Everyone's got that, what do you call it? That specialty, the SME, subject matter expert. We got SMEs. Yeah, we got the SMEs. Nobody sends me email.
Dude, you got all the
Nice.
6-minute Salesforce stuff. You got all the views.
Yeah, I think I talk to you like daily.
No, you do. I'm just kidding. I was just trying to make a joke there. Oh man, so we bumped up right up to 8 o'clock. What do you guys want to do?
I don't know, man. I'm just trying to. I completely forgot about some of the comments, so I'm reading back to figure out where we were at. And besides the photo shoot at Midwest Streaming, which sounds like it caused some issues for some folks with all the makeup, I'm sure they looked awesome in the makeup. Let's see.
Looks so pretty.
What is it? I'm just trying.
Mark says Megan is one of the biggest reasons he's gotten so far with his community implementation stuff. Look at
There
that.
you go.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if you have questions for Megan or friends who have questions for Megan, you can reach out to her on Twitter at, what is it, like Megan SF Rock?
Megan SF.
Oh, Megan SF. And it's MEI, 2 Qs.
No, that is not.
MEIGHAN SF.
Yes. And then who? RJ, the infamous, at the infamous RJ.
Yeah.
Right? He'll be happy to answer you. US Brian 28 is Brian's, and then mine is Life with Ryan. So, but I'm just gonna pass it to Megan anyway. So
I feel like we all know.
I am totally kidding. I'm totally kidding. Totally not.
Retweet at Megan SF.
Yeah. All right.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Remember, please post your #MyWhy on Twitter at system.debug and let us know why.
Yeah. Yep. And like and subscribe and share the video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, do the thing where you point.
I like pointing, although it's down here somewhere. I just wish I was like popular enough on YouTube to like, actually.
Everyone's all like, hit the bell, and then I immediately go, "Where's the bell? What bell? Why are we talking about bells?"
The bell's over there.
There's bells
somewhere.
It's next to subscribe.
Oh, there is a bell. I've never noticed that. All right, cool.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
All righty.
Bye, guys.
I'll work on that acoustic one, RJ.